Hi, this is part 3 of the Caregivers Home Care Worker Immigration Pilots program to Canada, and we will be discussing the work experience or training requirement. In the previous videos, we have discussed these 3 requirements already: the place to live and work in Canada, the language requirement, and the education requirement. And today we'll talk about the work experience or training. The work experience needed is 6 months of continuous, full-time, and relevant work experience in the past 3 years. So that means within the last 3 years, you must have 6 months of relevant work experience. The past 3 years before your application date. I think mas pinaliit na to because I believe that it was more than 6 months of work experience before, but now it's just down to 6 months. There is a big or dito, or completed a relevant training credential in the past 2 years. This is where that even with no work experience na nakalagay sa title ng mga videos ko, this is where it comes in because you may not have work experience but pasok pa rin kayo dito sa landed PR pathway. So here, depending on which pilot you apply to, so either childcare or home support, you'll need work experience or training in certain national occupational classifications or NOCs. So for childcare, we have 2 different NOCs, diba, or National Occupational Classifications. We have 44100 or 42202. Here are the example titles for 44100 na NOC. We have babysitters, childcare live-in caregiver, childcare provider in the private home, nanny or parents helper. So inclusions are babysitter in the fitness center, babysitter in the shopping center, or foster parent. If we click on the index of titles, you'll see all of the titles here. We have an au pair, babysitter, caregivers, child caregiver, childminder, children's guardian, family child care provider, foster father, foster mother, foster parent, governess, home child care provider, live-in nanny, parents helper. Now we have early childhood educators and assistants, or NOC 42202. Guys, madami ito sila, so I'll just read a few and then kayo na mag-pause and read the rest of these. So we have baby care worker, assistant, child care workers at daycare, daycare aide, daycare attendant, daycare helper, daycare teacher, early childhood assistant, early childhood educator. So we have junior kindergarten, infants daycare worker, nursery school aide, nursery school teacher, preschool helper, preschool supervisor. Those are the different job titles under childcare, but there are some jobs under this NOC that aren't eligible. Under childcare, ito yung mga work na hindi pwede or hindi kasali. This is for the landed PR program, ha? Experience as a foster parent doesn't count. Tapos experience as an early childhood educator, daycare teacher, or supervisor doesn't count. So if your job title is one of the listed job titles in the index na pinakita ko kanina, pasok yun, except those that I just recently read. Now let's go for the home support category. There are 2 different NOCs for home support. We have 44101 and 33102. 44101, these are all the job titles. We have attendance for persons with visual impairment in home care, or attendance for person with disabilities in home care, client care attendant in home care, companion, domestic helper, doula. Okay guys, doula. Wait lang, atong yan, pronunciation.
Doula.
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 Doula. Woman employed to provide guidance and support to the mother of a newborn baby. So a doula takes care of the mga mothers na bagong panganak. Here are the rest of the titles. We have family caregivers, family worker, home health care worker, live-in caregiver, personal aid, home support, home care. Wala lagi hospital din, no? Teaching homemaker, visiting homemaker. Respite worker. Guys, it says a respite worker is a health caregiver who provides short-term relief for primary caregivers, giving them time to rest, travel, or spend time with other family or friends. So mura siya substitute caregiver. Now let's take a look at NOC 33102. 33102 are mostly in a hospital setting now. So we have an anesthetic attendant in a hospital, continuing care assistant, emergency medical care assistant, non-paramedical, medical care attendant, medical responder, emergency room aide. Wait lang, marami. Screenshot nyo na lang. Or save this video to look at the different titles of these workers. Medical aide, geriatric healthcare attendant, hospice worker, hospital aide, hospital attendant, hospital porter, nursing home attendant, patient care aide. So many, guys. Psychiatric aide, registered care aide, respite care aide, service attendant medical, surgical aide, unit assistant, ward aide. There were many people asking me that they have work experience in the hospital setting. So if your work title is in any one of those, then pasok na kayo. Here are the guidelines naman for the work experience. If you have different work titles, pero pasok naman within like in the same NOC, you can combine the duration or how long yung work experience na yon. You must have gained your work experience since you were 18 years or older. You have gained your work experience 3 years before your application. It has to be continuous, meaning 6 months in a row, walang putol-putol. If you changed jobs, para pasok naman sa NOC, it must be continuous pa rin, like there is no break in between. It has to be full-time, meaning at least 30 hours of paid work per week. Now let's talk about the completed relevant training credential in the past 2 years. Eto, you must have received a credential for a relevant training of at least 6 months within or outside Canada for all of the occupations and job titles na we discussed kanina. Then, you must be at the post-secondary level. So, after high school, or you've completed your high school. Be full-time, meaning your training must be at least 15 hours per week during the academic year or period of study. The training must be mainly in an in-person classroom environment, meaning hindi virtual classes. Mostly. Your training have been started while you were 17 years old or older, and it has to be completed within the 2 years before you apply. Now, you must remember that what does not count as training is that training that was targeted towards occupations other than those listed above or yung mga na-discuss natin na mga job titles. Training that was done mainly online and OJT or on-the-job training does not count as training.